Alright folks, Buddhist Stu here. Today I'd like to talk to you about partisan politics and why it's the source of so much hate in today's society. The first thing to understand about partisan politics is it's a lot like a game of dodgeball. The first thing people do is they draw a line and they decide on teams. One team gets all the way over here to this side of the wall and one team gets all the way over this side of the wall. And then they start picking who's going to be on their team. So for instance, they might pick immigration and one side picks the wall and one side picks the bridge. Or they may pick guns and one side wants no guns and the other side wants everyone to have a gun. When it comes to taxes, they may decide to go with the rich or the poor. For energy, you have to decide between oil or trees. Reproductive rights, you must either pick the fetus or the mother. Foreign policy, we must either invade or withdraw. Even the military, we must either cut or grow. One thing to note about all these topics is they're all antonyms for each other. You must either invade or withdraw, cut or grow, rich or poor, none or all, a wall or a bridge. They're antonyms, which means they're diametrically opposed to each other. This is the source for all the hate and discontent that arises from partisan politics. Going back to our dodgeball analogy, if we consider this one extreme and this side the other extreme, anybody that gets out away from their extreme from the sides is going to get massacred. If you've ever played dodgeball, you know that this guy here is in a lot of trouble. This is one of the reasons for the hate in partisan politics, is there's no in between. You must either be on our side to this extreme or on our side to this extreme. And the other thing that you have to remember is if you don't agree with this guy here, he automatically assumes you're diametrically opposed to him. If you think some guns are okay and he thinks no guns are okay, he's automatically, when you tell him you don't agree with him, he's going to assume you want to put guns in the hands of small children because that's the opposite for what he believes. And he thinks that if you're not with him, you're 100% against him, when that may not be the case at all. Some people think that if you love trees, you must be against oil. Or that if you're for oil, you must be against trees. When in reality, there's a lot of viewpoints in between those two extremes. So again, partisan politics causes a lot of this hate. Now there is good news, people. This is a diagram which shows the spectrum of people's political beliefs. On this side, we have approximately 20% of the population that is Democratic. On this side, there's approximately 20% of the population that's Republican. And in between, we have people, about 60% of the population are neither strongly Democratic or strongly Republican. These are what we call centrist. The bad news is, these people in the middle don't ever get passionate enough about an issue to go out and vote. So unfortunately, in America's society today, we have to pick one extreme, either the Republican extreme or the Democratic extreme. And the people in the center, unfortunately, have yet to rise up and claim common sense and good reason and understanding and cooperation and all those terms that we'll never hear as long as there's two sides that are diametrically opposed to each other with no in-between ground. So I ask people to understand that this should shape your understanding of others. If someone is on the opposite end of the scale of you, you don't have to hate them. You can just understand that they've been conditioned to think that there's only one side to the coin, and that if you're not on their side, you're on the other side. And show some compassion. Maybe if we all showed compassion, we all thought of issues as a spectrum like this graph shows, then maybe someday we might come to understanding and move some of these people towards the center, or have some of the center people rise up and start invoking their will. or have some of the people in the center come to a greater understanding and help reach out to the people on the ends and bring them in from the brink of mutually assured destruction. This is like matter and antimatter. If they get together, boom. Hopefully you found the discussion of this topic enlightening and will ease your mind in your day-to-day journey through life. Buddha Stu out.